Welcome. Investing on gold, investing in land definitely will give very good return in long term, but it got its own pros and cons. If we have a high liquid investment, high liquidity possibility, and also give return better than gold and sometimes definitely better than land and having lower taxation, that particular instrument which you can use in case of emergency by drawing some loan and there is no title problem in that particular investment, how nice it will be. That particular instrument is a mutual fund. Come, let me show you a particular mutual fund which has got high liquidity. At the same time, when you make profit, when you book your profit, the taxation is lower than the capital gains on a particular land. That instrument where you can invest in small amounts every month or in lump sum as you wish, where the investment can start with as low as 100 rupees per month, and also subsequent investments around 1000 rupees per month can be done. Almost every family in the country, there is a possibility to save or invest 1000 rupees per month and make an SIP, and in long term let us see what is the return this particular fund has given us, so that it's really exciting and also interesting that even if the fund in the future gives a lower return also, our investment will definitely yield better return than gold. Now see this particular fund, which is Nippon India Growth Fund, where this fund started about 30 years back. That's around 29 years and 7 months. So here 29.7 years. So this is where the value of 1 lakh invested 29.7 years back, that's almost 30 years back, it's become 4 crores 17 lakhs. Whereas somebody has done a SIP of 1000 rupees, it has become 2 crores 67 lakhs, and the total SIP in 30 years has been 3 lakh 56,000 only. But the investment has grown to 2 crores 67 lakh 26,644 rupees as on date. The yield is around 23% per annum, and this investment is done in mid-cap stocks by Nippon India. Now if you see the beta of this particular fund, it's almost 1. That means if mid-cap index rises, this particular fund also rises almost equally, and this indicates that India is growing, and in the last 30 years we have seen so many confusions, so many problems. That is IT bubble in 2000 2001, for 2-3 years there was a problem. Again in 2007, 8, 9 we have a subprime issue. Again there was a problem in performance of the economy between 2011 12 to 2014, and again we had a COVID issue in 2020. In spite of all these, the economy has grown and the fund also has grown, and the same thing can be expected in the long term in the next 20-30 years, where the growth what we are seeing is expected to continue. So this fund can also continue to give a better return and better growth and highly liquid. The taxation also will be lower compared to the capital gains on property, and this particular fund can continue to yield very good returns, though the past performance is showing around 22.53% since inception. That is 30 years performance can definitely is a strong fund. So that performance, even if it is slightly poor in the next 30 years, but still mid-cap fund will give better return than a large cap index in the long term. So we can expect very good returns from this particular mid-cap fund. The major investments of this particular fund has been in BSE Limited in the current scenario 3.77%, and you have Cholamandalam Finance around 2.7, Fortis Healthcare 2.54, Persistent Systems 2.52%. The major focus has been in non-banking financial companies. Around 15% of the portfolio is focused on NBFCs, auto ancillaries around 9%, services sector around 9%, again engineering capital goods 7.5%, consumer non-durables around 7% of the portfolio is held. What more is, they have cash and cash equivalents around 2.67%. Whenever market falls, this cash can be helpful to average the investments and get at a lower price. There is an expense ratio of around 1.56% in this particular fund, and this is An open-ended fund, anyone can invest anytime, anyone can start their SIP anytime. At the same time, anyone can exit anytime what they like to do it. And this is run by fund manager Mr. Rupesh Patel. We can also see his particular profile. He's done MBA Finance and BE Civil, and he's got 14 years of experience, and he worked as a fund manager for Tata Fixed Tenure Fund scheme, and also Tata Capital Protection Orient Fund scheme also has been his particular experience. And this particular fund has been performing good, and the PE ratio for this particular fund, which will be almost equivalent to a mid-cap fund, which is around 26, which is okay to say that, you know, the valuation is definitely not very cheap, but okay, because of the valuation in India, most of the valuations are expensive. That way, this also is around 26 PE, and the market cap is around 79,000 crores. That's the amount of market cap the fund is doing. And if you see in the last 1 year, the fund has given a return of around 11.34%. And in the last 1 month, 10%, because last 6 months the market has corrected and again pulled back. So this fund also has pulled back. Definitely mid-cap fund will be an aggressive fund. It will not be a standard or a conservative fund. It's definitely an aggressive fund. But since it is a mid-cap fund, the aggression will be higher compared to a conservative fund. But on a longer term basis, this risk will be generally taken care of and the returns should be better. But the past performance definitely is not an indication to say that future also will be similar. Yes, I'm not a SEBI analyst, but definitely I'm a mutual fund advisor, and this particular fund can be invested through Funds Bazaar. I'll share the link in the description. Anyone interested can open a free account and can start investing by doing your KYC and also selecting this particular Nippon India Growth Fund, and can start SIP immediately with 1,000 rupees per month on a longer term basis. Please see the past performance indicates that somebody who has invested 1,000 rupees per month, his value or her value has grown from almost 2.67 crores in a span of around 30 years. So start investing today and get greater returns. You also will have a facility in case after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, if you have some liquidity problem, you need some funds, you can also pledge and draw some money out of the investment you have done in this particular fund. This is like loan against securities sort of thing, where you can take an OD, overdraft. In case of your emergency requirement, you can draw some money on certain interest basis and use that fund, and again you repay back, and again the OD will be closed, and your fund will continue to grow without disturbing your investment. You can utilize that as a collateral and get some liquidity for your emergency requirements. Whereas in case of land, there will be title issues, there will be some legal issues, and if once it gets into a legal issue, it will take years and years together to utilize that particular property. That sort of issues can also arise in properties. Here the title issue will not be there, because the fund will be on your name and the money will be drawn from your bank account. So the flow of funds are very clear, the title is very clear. You will not have any issue with regard to that, and you need to mention your nominee very, very clearly when you make this application, so that the nominee is clear in the application itself. In case of any sort of issues, the nominee also will get the advantage of this particular fund. That's how, you know, these funds are very liquid, very clear, title is clear, the returns are clear, and liquidity is clear, and you can also use those funds in your investments by taking OD in case there is an emergency fund requirement for you at your end. Happy investing. Thank you.